The roll.
Commissioner Palomera, Commissioner Baker McCormick, Commissioner Kenlock,
Present.
Commissioner Clemente,
Present.
Commissioner Baydoun, Commissioner Wilson, Chair Anderson.
And we will have to use our tablet.
We also have Commissioner Palomera. You have a quorum present.
As I mentioned earlier, Commissioner Baydoun is on his way. So I have no commissioner's remark, or chair's remarks. I really have nothing to add to anything today. We're trying to do things as efficiently as possible, and we will, Madam Clerk, if you would give us the next item on the agenda.
C, approval of the January 28th, 2025 meeting minutes.
Entertain a motion to approve that.
We have a motion by Commissioner Baker McCormick and a support by Commissioner Clemente.
Try to get used to the tablet, use it, or not the tablet, but the computer. Okay, so did you read the, okay, you read the motion already?
Yes.
Okay.
We
All
need
those in
everybody to
favor?
vote.
All those in favor vote yes on your tablet.
Motion carried.
Anyone opposed? Seeing none, minutes have been approved. Next item.
D, unfinished business. There is none listed.
Being none, move on to the next business item.
Moving to item 1, under new business, forwarding notification of a public hearing scheduled for February 24, 2025 for the City of Inkster Master Plan Update.
And this is a receive and file. We need a motion on receive and file. Okay. Okay.
We have a motion by Commissioner Clemente and a support by Commissioner Baker McCormick. Carried.
Motion carries. Moving on to the next item.
Item 2, requesting commission approval of a cooperative agreement with transportation for the Wayne County Asset Scan for the Transit-Oriented Development Opportunities Project.
Thank you both for being here. Would you identify yourself on the recording, and we'll take your bring me up to speed of what this is. It's the first time I've ever seen it. It is something new, right? Was from what came out of Washington. And are we sure this is still going to be available when, because I know there's a lot of things going on right now there with, but anyway, if you would.
Good morning,
floor is
Mr.
yours.
Chair. Good morning,
Yeah.
body. Hustle Shake, Director of Economic Development.
DeLorean Holmes, Economic Vitality Director.
So this is a cooperative agreement between Wayne County and the Department of Transportation in the amount of $905,000 in the form of a grant for asset scan for transit or for us as we're looking at transit, if we're looking at especially in-house and other items, to a pot of money that when we saw it, then we like, hey, trying to do and accomplish, and let's go after it. Now, the question that you asked about, whether they're, though it's regular business, and if they're to stop it, that's, on the federal side, that is on the federal government. Miss any potential opportunities.
And we're not going to be obligated you're not going to obligate any dollars for this until we find out the feds.
Absolutely.
Okay, what their position is going to be. Let the record indicate that Commissioner Baydoun just arrived. And thanks for joining us. And I understand you were busy this morning too. But anyway, on that, we're on item 2 under new business. So we're not obligating any dollars, and there's nothing we can lose if they decide to pull that program.
That is correct.
Okay.
And this contract would commence upon commission approval and go through 28. So, we have time, and we'll just as we're doing with all of countywide with all of our federal dollars, making sure that we're assessing and taking a look at what the trends are and what's going on. We're going to do the same, be responsible and make sure that, we're not put in a place where we've got to pay any money back to the federal government.
One question that I had, how is this related to the mass transit plan?
So this grant would allow us to look at all county-owned assets and figure out what's the best, highest and best use for them. So for example, if there's a parcel that's owned by the county off of Michigan Ave, this would allow us to do the feasibility of it being a potential transit hub or a development that would support transit.
What, if you don't mind, tell us where that's at on Michigan Avenue. Is that around the Corktown area or where?
I was just using that as an overall example.
Oh.
So any county-owned asset, we could do an asset study on to determine how it could help in a transit strategy or transit plan.
So the asset scan, the scan is, what is that? I'm trying to, I know it's the same thing, but it's probably just a method that they find all those properties that we own, and I'm just trying to
So,
figure
I
out.
mean, just kind of taking a look at it, and DeLorean, if you can
Rather than
add or
him.
correct me if I'm wrong, you know, in terms of a process of taking a look at all of our county-owned properties, creating that list and going through
Okay.
each property and saying what are the pros and cons and what could it be potentially used for in the larger scheme of transit. And then from there, then we would be able to take that and analyze that and see how and where and we're plugging items in as we're moving forward into the future of you know, accessible transit throughout the county.
Okay.
Correct.
Anyone else have questions?
Commissioner Clemente.
Commissioner Clemente?
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Mhm.
Just a question of where we're at in this process. So I'm seeing that this came in, we received it February 17th, but it was there was communication on December 16th. So where are we at in the process of this grant? Do you know any
Yeah.
information on
Yeah,
this?
so this is one of the grants that we had received and were alerted in December that we were awarded. That's when we did the process to get it in TCM to get it in front of commission. In that time, we were still doing some due diligence and asking questions. And then when the federal grant freeze came out, it was one of the grants that was in that. Do we accept the grant? Or, you know, potentially not accept it and it's lost.
Okay, and then there's also been movement in the state legislature around transit, right? And so this is why we're pursuing this now.
Correct,
Okay.
as well as the endeavors that we've been taking on here at the county as well.
Okay, very good. That's what I wanted to know. Thank you.
Any other questions? This is an action item. Commissioner Wilson.
Just quickly, make sure I'm in line here. Isn't there some, opportunity for this to perhaps be associated with a ballot initiative?
So this is specifically a grant. It would operate in a separate format of a grant, you know, in terms like if it could be something that would help us move something forward that was a battle initiative or anything like that in terms of larger scheme,
Okay.
potentially, but this is going to be a separate grant that we're going to be operating as, you know, we've got these dollars for this purpose and that's what we're going to be using it for. Now in the larger scheme, in terms of our goals for transit,
Okay.
that's where it kind of falls in place.
Gotcha. Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, any other questions? Seeing no other questions, take a motion to approve that item.
We have a motion by Commissioner Clemente and it's supported by Commissioner Kenlock.
All those in favor and vote on your tablet again.
Motion carried. Moving to the addenda, item 3, requesting commission approval of Amendment 1 to a subrecipient agreement with National Faith Home Buyers to increase the amount of the down payment assistance available to county residents under the 2023 Home Buyer Assistance Program through the Wayne County Home Consortium Program.
You're
How-
also speaking on that one. Okay.
We're going to be
thank you.
speaking on, we're going to be up here for a little bit.
Okay. Great.
Hudson Shake, Director of Economic Development.
DeLorean Holmes, Economic Vitality Director.
So for this specific item, we're not increasing the total amount. We're increasing the amount per house that's usable just based off of market trends on what it takes to rehab a house. So the total amount of the allocation remains the same. It's just the amount that you're able to allocate per home. We're increasing just to make sure that we're able to allow for enough funding to repair a house.
So what precipitated this increase? Was it something we always had that right to do, or is it something that was related to something that happened at the state level?
Yeah, under the home program at HUD, it's something we have the right to do. I know internally in talking with staff, a big reason for it was when we look at the home purchase price and the increasing cost of home ownership and looking at individuals under, let's say, 60% of the average median income at the $25,000 amount that it currently was at, it still wouldn't be enough to help them feasibly purchase a house.
But I know some time back I had conversation with folks at the Michigan Association of Realtors, and they were pushing legislation. I think the legislation passed in the state legislature to increase that. And the same thing as this, essentially, it's a reflection of the property values, the costs of those properties, but anyway, I appreciate
And-
this. I think this is a good thing to do.
And I do apologize, I misspoke. I meant purchase home, not rehab home.
Okay, okay, all right, good. All right, any other questions?
Thank you. Just answer. Thank you.
Seeing no questions,
We have a motion by Commissioner Kenlock and a support by Commissioner Baker McCormick.
use our tablets, vote.
Motion carried.
Okay. Next item.
Item 4, requesting commission approval of a 2-year intergovernmental agreement with a 2-year option to renew with the Wayne County Airport Authority for the management and maintenance of infrastructure improvements for drainage and sewer runoffs at the Detroit Metropolitan Wayne County Airport.
Go ahead, if you'd
Hus-
like to. I
Yeah.
have a quick question too, whenever you're
Absolutely. Huston Sheikh.
explaining this.
Yep, Huston Sheikh, Director of Economic Development.
Lorraine Holmes, Economic Vitality Director.
The Wayne County Airport Authority identified an opportunity to improve the drainage infrastructure presently supporting the airport with the goal of attracting new development while preserving the ability to support planned and future airfield improvements. The improvements consist of an increase to the capacity of current stormwater management systems and an extension of infrastructure to allow stormwater diversion during the winter months, allowing for tenants on the east side of the airport to de-ice their larger aircrafts in closer proximity to the point of origin. As we know, the airport is a gem of ours here in the county. It's something that's won numerous awards. It's also a factor in terms when we're trying to draw in investment into the county, as well as going for bond ratings and thus forth. So from our perspective, having these conversations with the Wayne County Airport Authority, taking a look at how we can continue to invest and keep the airport in a position where it's continuously being a factor for us to be able to drive investment into the county. The total cost of the project is $28,332,376. The Wayne County Airport Authority is contributing $9 million. Contributions from other partners is $9 million, and the county's contribution is going to be $9 million. Now, in the case that costs were to go above the amount that's anticipated, the airport authority as well as the private developers would be responsible for that cost. We are capping at $9 million. We're not going to be going more than $9 million.
Okay. I had a quick question about the 9 million, the source of the dollars that we're putting into the agreement,
That
where
would,
that's coming from.
that would be general fund. And this will be in an item in front of Ways and Means later today at 12 o'clock as well.
Okay. Any other questions? Commissioner Kinlock?
Okay, yes, general fund dollars. I just came in last night from the airport. We have an amazing airport, easy to move through, very well maintained. So have a lot of respect for the way that the airport system has been operating. My question is along the lines as it relates to reporting requirements. Yes, there's a $28 million, I guess, project, but the $9 million that's coming from general fund capital, capital programs. Just wanted to know, is there any reporting requirements as it relates to vendors, contractors associated with this project? And you mentioned the private developers. Have they already been identified? What information can you give us to, as it relates to the current stage of all of this?
Yeah, no, so first and foremost, when it comes to the reporting aspect, we're going to be keeping close eyes on, as we do with any dollars we put out.
No, I'm talking about reporting requirements to you all that will make its way to the commission as well.
Absolutely. So,
Okay.
as we do regular check-ins with the Wayne County Airport Authority and keep eyes and tabs on the project itself, we'll be coming back to this body to provide updates on the project and where they're at in completion. And again, for these dollars of the 9 million that we're providing is specifically towards the drainage infrastructure. So that is a specific part of the project, and we'll provide updates on where we're at in that.
Okay, so, so no, has there been any, aspects of the drainage program that the drainage component of this project, has any aspects of that been, I guess, drafted or, I mean, what are we looking like as far as potential contractors and how that will be selected and all of those processes there?
So for the Wayne County Airport Authority is going to be taking lead on identifying developers and the likes.
And they'll
all
let
that.
us know.
Yeah.
And then, so, okay, so
Happy to provide you guys
want to
updates.
just make
yeah.
sure that's local and all of those
Yeah.
good things.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
Commissioner Baker McCormick.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. My question is in line with the developers, what Commissioner Kinlock just alluded to. For me, I guess this seems like it would go through Ways and Means
So-
first to make sure that all of the, the details of it would be discussed. And, we're looking at general fund dollars. We're looking at contractors, what,
So-
details, we need some other details.
So
That's what I'm looking at.
So this is going in front of Ways and Means today at 12. Today, with this body, we're discussing the agreement. And then with Ways and Means, we'll be discussing the budget adjustment and the dollar amounts.
Right, and I'm just suggesting that it probably should go the other way, maybe go through Ways and Means and then come back here for deliberation.
So
That's,
you're along the lines with council and some other folks, but I guess it was time, our staff also, and everybody had that concern. But in order to, because the way that it worked and the necessity of it, but we're gonna have some questions, but I understand the cart before the horse, but the point is that this is something that is definitely needed. And so we agreed, both the staff and council and everyone agreed to allow this to move forward because, we'll also have another conversation about this.
And we're very appreciative of this body as well as commission staff for helping us get this in front of you all.
I think another, to address that too, I think another thing is that just the scheduling of the two committee meetings.
Yeah.
If we did it in that reverse order, that other order, we'd have to wait till we had committee meetings again.
Council,
Which would be March 11th, which would,
Pardon me?
Council Felicia had her hand.
Oh, I'm sorry.
no, it's fine. I just wanted
Well,
to
good-
address
good
that.
point. It's a good point.
That's all. We can,
Felicia, did you have some questions, comments?
Think I'm- There it is. Through the chair, just for clarification, and to the point that Commissioner Kinlock was making, the developer has been identified.
yes.
Oh, okay, so I didn't hear the name.
No, I
was
didn't hear the
confused
name.
About the
Right, you
discussion,
said
so the
that-
name is
you
BTW
didn't say-
Sierra BTS
Oh,
Partners.
so I'm saying that
Ventures
the Wayne County Airport Authority is responsible
I know,
for
but
that
if you
position.
knew who the developer was, okay.
Okay, I apologize.
Right, so
So
they
Michael
already
Jackson, are
selected
you
the
online? Can you
developer.
answer any of these questions?
Well, I'll tell you, because the agreement says it. It's
I'm
DTW
here.
Sierra BTS Partners Ventures, and they're working in conjunction with FedEx. It's in the analysis, but
All right, thank you.
Yeah, I'm on, if you can hear me. I'm not sure if you can hear me or not.
Here you go.
We can hear you.
Yep,
Okay.
Michael, if you want to go ahead.
Yes, the developer is a partnership with two entities, one local, one national. One local is the Sterling Group, and national is Hillwood, which is a aviation-based company out of Dallas. The initial project is working with the new FedEx development, but this specific area is about expanding the infrastructure for both Pond 6 as well as the force main to Pond 3 West, which collects what we call our glycol for distribution to not downstream, but to the local sanitary. Because we can't with glycol, it cannot be pushed downstream because of the makeup of that chemical.
Michael, can you introduce yourself and your title at
Oh,
the?
I'm sorry. I apologize. My name is Michael Jackson. I'm the Senior Vice President here of Economic Development at the Wayne County Airport Authority.
Commissioner, oh, I'm sorry, Commissioner Kenlock.
Thank you for joining us this morning, Mr. Jackson. So Sterling Group is the local partner in this project?
Yes, sir.
Okay, are there any other subs or other contractors that would be participating in this program locally?
Yes, there are. I don't have that in front of me, but we can get that to you. They're providing monthly reports with respect to the project as well, too, that we will be transmitting to the county as well.
Okay, thank you. And when you say the county, that's to the Economic Development and to the commission through this committee?
Yes, sir. Correct.
Thank you. Okay.
Mr. Palomero.
And
Oh,
I
sorry.
was just gonna say, and just to clarify, that's what I was hoping to get to you. I was gonna work with them, get you guys the list of all the developers, so.
Mr. Palomero.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'll try to be careful how I phrase this, but I'm just very glad with all the uncertainties in the federal government now and what is getting funded and what is not getting funded and who's working and who's not working, that we can help move this project along. I couldn't support it anymore. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Madam Clerk, do we have a motion to approve? I think we do.
We have a motion by Commissioner Palomero and a support by Commissioner Kenlock.
If there aren't any other further questions, we've got a motion on the table to approve. All those in favor? Use your tablet, please. Yeah. And mine's off to the side. But any. Okay, all those in favor? Aye. Okay.
Motion carried.
Motion carried. Next item.
Item 5, requesting commission approval of modification 2 to the Wayne County Program Year 2021 Annual Action Plan that was submitted by the Charter County of Wayne to the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development.
I think that's.
Yep. We've added a few more people for this one. Good morning, Hustle Sheikh, Director of Economic Development.
DeLorean Holmes, Interim Community Development Director.
Stephanie Case, Executive Community Development Project Manager.
Okay, would you go over the plan, what you're asking for?
So this is a request to modify the 2021 action plan previous awarded projects, the funds that will be unutilized to current projects that are in need of additional funds.
Okay. Any questions by commissioners? I have one that I'm interested in. How many communities does this represent their allocation or their grants?
So we can go over each community. One is particular is eCourse. eCourse was awarded $300,000 for demolition. When it came down to when we were in the bidding process, eCourse only had four buildings, residential buildings they need to demo, and that cost us only $63,000. So we went back and forth with the city of eCourse. We talked to the city manager. One of our program managers was in discussions with the city. There was a staff turnover, and they did not come up with additional properties to be demolished. But in the years after that, in 2022, we gave eCourse additional $100,000. In 2023, we gave eCourse additional $200,000. In 2024, we also awarded eCourse another $300,000. So they have still $600,000 that need to be expended. We also are in the process of having 3 commercial buildings that they're in the process of demolition, and we should have that started by this summer. So the city of, I think Jenny talked to the cities of Bellevue and Huron about their 20,000 senior services projects.
Yes, I spoke to Steve Jones in Belleville, and they actually had a computer system. Thank you, I'm sorry about that. A computer system crash whereby they could not produce the support in order to draw down and request the funds. So he did attempt to get that information, and then he just came to the fact that he would not be able to. So he said they couldn't use their 20,000. So that is why that money is a remaining balance. As it relates to Gibraltar and Huron Township, they also had public services monies, and they were only able to use a portion of their monies. And because they're not always able to use all of their public service funds, which we have seen that to be the case in previous years as well. And so 2021 is just another example of where they were not able to use all of their public service funds.
So, and also the 2 other additional projects was Melvindale and River Rouge. They had a project that was off a bid. The bid came back under what was allocated. So the project got completed, but there was just additional funds left. I think one was only about $830 something, and the other one was a minimum about a couple $1,000. So the projects were finished, they were completed. They just came under bid. And there was a project delivery cost that we usually set aside for projects that need additional funds. Those projects that funds didn't need to be allocated for that fiscal year. So we're allocating them to this year for projects that need additional funds. That went off a bid and came back over bid what was awarded for that fiscal year.
And I think River Rouge, also, they had demolition funds, but at the end of the day, they had $15,000 remaining, and they did not have a demolition that was $15,000. The demolitions came in higher, so they were unable to use those funds.
So that all adds up to the $663,000, is that?
Correct.
Okay, all right. I have Commissioner Clementi first and then Commissioner McCormick.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So many of these cities that you mentioned are mine. And I'm trying to figure out with the way, and I know there's probably criteria, but I need a better handle on this so that I can see what's going on. I understand that eCourse has had turnover, but when you're talking about cities like eCourse, River Rouge, and Melvindale that are very in the poverty zone, really need help with monies, and then monies are getting allocated other places or not, they're not able to use these monies. I want to know why, and I want to know how, that if they are allocated to them, how we can get it fixed, that they're using their monies. Because nothing against anything that's going on. I know there's been different, but to me, I'm very concerned about this because I'm sure I don't know if there's other ways that these money, I don't know exactly how they can be used, if it's only for demolition, but I'm just wondering if there's other ways and that maybe other people need to get involved to kind of help this out. So if we can sit down and have a meeting, so I can get a better understanding of this, I would really appreciate that. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. One of the things that.
Just say one thing on that. So last year, we funded Melvindale Pool renovation. That was $700,000. This year, River Rouge has another senior facility center that we're renovating. That's another $600,000. So we make sure each city who sends in an application that is in need, that we award this any additional funds. So we make an effort to make sure, even though there's only a couple $1,000s that they didn't spend, the project was completed. So, and then the previous year, like I said, we just did Melvindale Pool. It looks beautiful. I don't know if you've seen it or not, but it's gorgeous.
The Melvindale Pool?
Yeah.
I just met with the mayor and she's talking something about the pool that more needs to be done. So I guess there's a disconnect here and I just want to make sure that I'm getting the right information. I know that you guys are working really hard on all this, but
Commissioner.
there's been another time that we also reallocated funds away from you know, these cities. So
So
thank you.
Commissioner, happy to do so. We'll schedule some time, sit down with you, kind of go through each one of your communities in terms of understanding exactly what went on with these dollars and why they were pulled back. And then also in terms of our, the plan in terms of better education and preparation for each of the communities. moving
I
forward.
would like to be included in that meeting
Absolutely.
too, because I have some questions about how things are reawarded and, how much notification is given to make sure that they know they're on the verge of losing those funds and that they're given an opportunity. I want to make sure that they're properly notified and
Absolutely.
given the opportunities, that's all.
Happy to do so.
And Commissioner McCormick, I think was next.
So is there a timeline that they were given to spend down and I guess with the grant dollars, they can't reallocate it to another project that they needed, that's a need or?
Yeah. I can answer part of it, and then I'll let Stephanie and Jeannie come in. So with the way the grant funds are awarded and then putting in our actual plans, and this is the project that's going to be done. So let's say they would do half that project and it could be additional funds left. We would have to come back like we are now, amend the plan to add another project in, as well as do a whole new environmental review process that could take 6+ months depending on the project and what stage it's in.
So if there is an amendment done, are you addressing that issue that maybe they can amend the project and use the funds for something else?
Yeah, so that's part of, I know for the e-course money, we had talked about talking to them about other demos or other projects that they couldn't identify. So there's constant conversations going on with the communities to try to figure out how we can help with them. For example, for the 236,000 in CDBG with e-course, we had conversations with them like, okay, what about NSP funds for additional demos? But then they couldn't identify the properties or the projects.
Might be good for you to also be in that meeting if you'd like to, because I'm sure we have some questions and it might be.
I'd like to say too, in case of Melvindale, we were able to do the inside, but we couldn't do the roof. We couldn't do some of the concrete work outside. So there is additional work. And Melvindale has applied again for another funds. We haven't reviewed that yet, but some projects we can't complete all because the additional cost of the project is not what's allocated to the community.
And that's what I need to understand is exactly like what this means and what you can and can't do.
With
And the other thing is sometimes there's turnover and getting a hold of people. And that's where I just want to know what's going on and offer my help because I'm there and I can, try and get you connected with some people. So thank you.
I appreciate that, Commissioner. A lot of times when you're working with federal dollars, they're sticklers in terms of what's been applied for. You got to stick to what's being worked on. So we'll sit down, we'll walk through it, talk through it, and get you up to speed.
Mr. Bell, if you're complete, if you're finished, Commissioner Clemente, it's Commissioner Palmera, and I wanted to be recognized.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I couldn't help but notice that every one of the 3 addenda items were received within the last week. And the fact that the staff was able to do the research and analysis and turn it around and have it ready for today like this, I just want to thank you all publicly, whoever had a hand, Mr. Chairman, the administration, council, clerk's office, research and analysis, thank you all for doing such an outstanding job in such a quick fashion.
Commissioner,
Any
thank
other
you. And
question,
just from an
Commissioner?
administrative side, I want to second that. It's wonderful working with the staff, and we very much are appreciative of them helping us get this in front of you all. Thank you very much.
Commissioner Ken Locke.
On that note, great job, but let's try to get it in time because, we've been having conversations around getting stuff to our staff so they can, have enough time to get things done. Yeah, but
Absolutely.
yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Correct. Yeah, motion by Commissioner Palmera and a support by Commissioner Kenlock. Motion carried. Moving back to the agenda, item F, such other matters as may be properly submitted before the committee. I've not been informed of any other matters. G, public comments.
If not, if there's not someone in the room that has any questions, if anyone? Okay, anyone online indicated that they have would like to speak?
There's no one on Zoom indicating that they would like to speak.
Okay. Next item.
Adjournment.
It's been moved and supported. We're adjourned. Thank you.